This video is brought to you by Squarespace. The Warring States period of the Naruto series is one of the most interesting parts of the story. It's not that much explored in the manga, however, there are so many interesting characters with rich personalities and stories that I have to talk about them a little bit more. Today we're going to be talking about a very obscure yet extremely powerful and developed character, Toka Senju. Now, many people may not know who Toka Senju is, but you've definitely seen her before. She appeared in the manga and in the anime whenever they show that picture of the entire Senju clan together. She was the third in command of the Senju clan during the Warring States period, only behind Hashirama and Tobirama in terms of the chain command, and well, she was actually more powerful than one of them, which I'm gonna be getting into in this video. Toka Senju wasn't born to a prominent Senju family, and she was very much ostracized during her youth. People were saying that she wasn't gonna be a very powerful ninja, and the Senju clan actually used her as cannon fodder during several different battles in her youth. They expected her to die very soon because she didn't really show a lot of promise, so they simply used her as a meat shield in several different situations to get the best usage from her that they could, because well, she wasn't really contributing much to the clan when she was very young. However, despite the best efforts of the Senju clan, she did not die, even though she was used as cannon fodder during several different fights before she even was 10 years old. This caught the eye of several Senju clan elders, which began to train her more seriously after realizing, okay, just because she didn't come from a prominent family in the clan doesn't mean she's a completely useless ninja, and it turns out that they were right. Toka Senju became one of the most important ninjas in the entire Senju clan. She developed an extremely powerful taijutsu and also healing capabilities. Now, of course, Hashirama eclipsed her when it came to self-regeneration. However, Toka Senju was better at healing other people than Hashirama was, so she was an extremely good support ninja in the battlefield, unlike Hashirama, who mostly focused on healing himself, and he was very good at it. Toka Senju could keep her allies alive during long periods of time, and on top of that, she could protect herself with extremely powerful taijutsu punches, kicks. She was kind of like a tsunade when you think about it. She had powerful hitting capabilities, and she could keep people alive for long periods of time. However, she also had another extra benefit that made her even more powerful as a support shinobi. She was extremely proficient at Genjutsu. Now, this may sound a little bit weird coming from a Senju clan person, but she was a prodigy at Genjutsu, and because of that, she was invaluable in the fights against the Uchiha clan because she had the job to break the Senju shinobi out of the Uchiha Genjutsu whenever the Uchiha and the Senju armies clashed against each other. Most of the Uchiha shinobi had a Sharingan. They could use Genjutsu very easily, and they were mostly very proficient with it, meaning that if there wasn't anybody to break the Senju army out of Genjutsu, then they would probably die. So if Toka Senju wasn't there, there's just a very high possibility that the Uchiha clan would have won the fights and the war during the Warring States period outright. Of course, Tobirama and Hashirama and other powerful Senju clan members would be able to eventually break out of Genjutsu. However, most were not, and so Toka Senju had to go inside the army ranks and break them out herself. Because she wouldn't be affected by the Sharingan Genjutsu, she could break out of it very easily and help others break out of it. Because of her sheer importance and how powerful Toka Senju was in the fight against the Uchiha clan, and also several other clans that the Senju clan fought during the Warring States period, she climbed through the ranks of the Senju clan and eventually became their third most important shinobi and the third most senior ninja that they had. She was behind Hashirama and Tobirama, but after them, she essentially led the clan as she pleased. Toka Senju was also much more like Hashirama than Tobirama was when it came to her personality. She was a more compassionate individual that cared more about others and didn't really try to use shinobis as tools. There was a particular situation during the Warring States period when a Senju army ambushed an Uchiha army and they managed to defeat them very thoroughly. They captured several Uchihas. Tobirama and Toka were in this particular ambush. They managed to catch the Uchiha off guard because Tobirama sensed them, and Toka was able to to break them out of any Genjutsu that the Uchiha threw against them after the trap was sprung, and because so many were captured, Tobirama was very eager to torture them and dispose of the Uchiha clan members as revenge for what the Uchiha clan had done to the Senju clan, but Toka did not like that one bit. Yes, the Uchiha clan were their enemies and they had to be defeated. However, Toka didn't feel it was fair to torture them and put them through suffering. She wanted to just keep them as prisoners to eventually trade them with prisoners that the Uchiha clan would acquire from the Senju clan. It would be a very beneficial trade for the Senju clan, and Toka Senju always tried to preserve life from every single side in the war. This is, according to Hashirama, one of her most admirable traits and something that Hashirama wanted to prevail in the Senju clan that Tobirama didn't really agree with. He wanted to essentially dispose of the Uchiha clan members they had captured in very classic Tobirama fashion. The guy is known for not really liking the Uchihas all that much. The argument between Toka and Tobirama about what to do with the Uchihas eventually got very heated. Tobirama was essentially going to kill them all in the spot, but Toka didn't want any of that. She wanted to preserve life, and she fought against Tobirama. Well, they didn't fight till they died or anything like that, but she denied Tobirama the chance to kill the Uchiha, essentially fighting against him, punching him, using her Genjutsu against Tobirama. Tobirama used his Flying Thunder God against her, but she knew what he was up to and caught him off guard in a Genjutsu, defeating him in the process and landing a decisive blow to his stomach, which made Tobirama cough up blood and be essentially unable to fight for weeks because of the power of the blow. So yes, Toka Senju stomped Tobirama while saving Uchiha clan members. Eventually, just like Toka planned, they used those prisoners to trade with prisoners that the Uchiha clan had captured from the Senju clan, and the Uchiha member who was responsible for training the prisoners with Toka was actually Hikaku Uchiha, the most talented Uchiha of all time. Toka and Hikaku had a lot of respect for each other, and they knew that trading prisoners between each other was something beneficial, and that's why Toka really liked how Hikaku went about things. Before we continue the story, I would like to talk about today's sponsor, Squarespace, which is the best tool you can ever find to create your own website. And we know that in this day and age, having a website for your business or even for whatever you want to do online is very important. Squarespace provides you all the web design tools for you to create your own website. It's very impressive. You don't need to have any expertise with web design to make a professional looking website with Squarespace. And if you don't want to create your own website from scratch, another impressive thing is how easily you can simply sell what you have to sell in their website. Products, services, even content. So don't waste any time. Head to the link down below and use the coupon DAIGUNITE for 10% off in your first Squarespace purchase. And let's get back to the video. There were several situations where Hikaku and Toka met each other in the battlefield, but they had a silent understanding that they shouldn't fight each other. They should actually try to help their clan members to survive and to preserve as many lives as they could. And that's why they simply had a lot of respect for each other, and why the prisoner exchange in this particular situation went very well. Toka also treated the Uchiha prisoners remarkably well, using her healing ninjutsu on them if they were wounded, giving them enough food and water and everything they needed to survive their imprisonment. Unbeknownst to Tobirama, Hashirama actually wanted Toka to be the one who succeeded him leading the Senju clan, because Tobirama, his ideals were very different from his older brothers, and Hashirama didn't like the way Tobirama went about things. He actually wanted Toka to become the Hokage after him, and not Tobirama. But I'm getting ahead of myself, because Hashirama tested Toka Senju before the Leaf Village was even founded. They had a bout of Taijutsu which Hashirama prompted because he wanted to see how powerful Toka was and if she was ready to take over the Senju clan should the need arise. Toka Senju pretty much destroyed Hashirama in terms of Taijutsu. She was extremely powerful. A single punch of hers was essentially a nuke in the battlefield, just like Sakura was during the war arc. And yes, eventually Hashirama was able to subdue her once he used his massive wood-style Genjutsus, but Toka Senju was stronger than Hashirama in terms of physical strength. Toka being stronger than him is a big deal, and this is one of the reasons why Hashirama thought she would also be a better candidate to lead the Senju clan after his eventual demise, because she was more powerful than Tobirama, and Hashirama agreed with her ideals more than he did with Tobirama's ideals. So much so that when Hashirama and Madara made their alliance between the Senju and Uchiha clans, Toka Senju was very much in favor, unlike Tobirama was. She thought it was a great idea to align themselves with the other extremely powerful clan in the region to form a village, and therefore their children and their shinobi wouldn't have to die in a meaningless war. To Toka's delight, Hikaku was also a member of this coalition because the entire Uchiha clan came with Madara, and Hikaku had been the man Toka had actually developed feelings for during the entire war period. Yes, they were enemies, but Toka saw honor in Hikaku Uchiha, and she pursued that relationship. Hikaku was a little bit closed off because his former wife had died in the hands of Sasuke Sarutobi alongside his unborn child, but eventually he gave in because he also saw a lot of respect and honor in Toka as well. However, in the first Great Ninja War, Hikaku lost his Mangekyo Sharingan sight from essentially overusage. He lost the light in his eyes, and he died in a fight against the first Tsuchikage, which made Toka Senju extremely sad. She could never achieve her revenge against the first Tsuchikage because she would also eventually die in the first Great Ninja War. Not killed by a ninja from the Stone Village, but rather the first Raikage was the one who caught her. It was an intense battle between a battalion of Cloud ninjas against Leaf ninjas, and they were hopelessly outmatched 4-1. Toka Senju and her allies still gave the Cloud village a run for their money, but eventually the first Raikage dealt the finishing blow against the Senju woman. Now you may even think this is pretty unimpressive coming from Toka Senju, that she died to a Raikage, which shouldn't really make the character a complete garbage fodder tier, but there's something even more impressive. The first Raikage didn't come out unscathed from that fight. No, much in the contrary actually. Because of the fight against Toka Senju and the wounds he suffered in that particular occasion, he eventually died a week or so later. Nobody could heal him from what Toka had done to him. Nobody even knew what she did. Apparently she had a hidden jutsu that she used against the Raikage unbeknownst to her allies and her enemies, and the Raikage eventually succumbed to it. She died in the first Great Ninja War in a fight against the first Raikage, but the Raikage himself died from the wounds. Even after her death, she still served the Leaf Village in the great fight of the first Great Ninja War. Unfortunately, there are no known descendants from Toka Senju. As far as we know, Hikaku and herself didn't father any children, and she didn't have any previous relationships with anybody during the Warring States period. Hashirama was also very disheartened after hearing about her death and knowing that Tobirama would have to be the second Hokage after his death. He really wanted Toka to take the mantle, and he thought she would have done a much better job than Tobirama eventually would. Obviously, after Hashirama came back as Nero Tensei in the Fourth Great Ninja War, he very much disliked the policies Tobirama implemented in the Leaf Village, ostracizing the Uchiha clan, making them essentially enemies of the Leaf State, and thought that Toka Senju would have done a much better job keeping the peace and the Uchiha clan as their allies. Unfortunately, this couldn't happen because Toka gave her life to protect the village, like a true heiress of the Will of Fire. Like this video if you enjoyed it, please. It was very difficult to find information about Toka Senju, so if you enjoyed it, please leave it a like, it helps me out. Also subscribe if you haven't already, and if you enjoy content like this. Also watch this other video right here if you want to find out more about Hikaku Uchiha, the strongest and most talented Uchiha of all time. Thank you so much for watching.